My history? I was a real estate investor. That's what I've been doing for the last close to 50 years. That's what my skill is, to take some real estate that is not utilized to its fullest potential and try to transform it to fullest potential. The Old Orchard Theater, I believe it was a 2-screen theater at the time, second-run movies.
It was the Old Orchard. It was the movie theater. We came as like teenagers to the movies. It was like a 1980s theater.
The theater was out of commission when we acquired it. And then we were approached by a committee who represented the Holocaust Center.
Mr. Leibowitz was instrumental in getting this piece of property secured, make what we have now.
Obviously, I didn't realize that the transformation is going to create such a monument.
The Holocaust Center, nobody does a better job. That's why we bring our kids here to teach them.
We have to keep this in mind and in memory so that it never happens again.
We're able to come here and reflect and remember.
We are seeing more and more incidents of hate in our society, and these things are related. Understanding what happens when biased attitudes go unchecked.
The only way you're going to fight back is through education, through informing people.
The Holocaust Center educates thousands of young people every year. Their trip to the Holocaust Center is a culmination point of the work they've done leading up to it. It gives them a chance to articulate and to really contextualize the things they learned in class, and it makes it real.
When we think about education and we think about our students, it's helpful when they can see firsthand artifacts, hear firsthand accounts and stories so that they can, understand truth.
It's still really important to have a physical space that you can be in and be all-encompassed and just surrounded and enveloped by these stories. I can't even begin to fathom the thought of being separated from my family.
Myself and my executive team first experienced the transformational education that was provided, and I immediately recognized the need and the benefits of every one of my officers and dispatchers through my entire agency going through the course and learning the lessons applicable to everything we do in law enforcement, how we treat people with dignity, respect, compassion, to always do the right thing no matter what.
I have 12 exciting young people who are learning to become teachers.
We are here to get the tools to teach the Holocaust the right way to students. We got a lot of information and resources about how to go about this topic respectfully.
It's such a privilege to be in a state, to be in a place that has a resource like this.
The people that are here and the people that support the Holocaust Center are so passionate and smart about how do we continue to bring this to the world in a way that's engaging, to keep up with the world that we live in today and transform this place.
The museum has been here in this location for just about 20 years, and there are a lot of changes. The community has changed, our world has changed, people's connection directly to the Holocaust has changed. We have to tell the story in a way that's going to be relevant and meaningful to new generations.
Exhibits, kind of at their core, are storytelling places, and we are rethinking how we tell stories in this space, and how we use artifacts, and how we use personal stories.
For us, it's very important to utilize the voices of the survivors, especially local survivors. And so incorporating all of that into the museum design has been what we've been working on.
This building here represents our memories, and that's why it's so important.
It's a huge responsibility. We want to create something that will be relevant 20 years from now and will be impactful. If we don't get that right, we would feel terrible. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
No, that's absolutely.
When do you plan on having it done?
We have a grand reopening in January.
This January? Woo!
This project has been going pretty much full speed since May. This is a huge team effort. We couldn't do it without every department in the museum, without our donor community, our volunteers. Everybody has played a role in this that has a relationship with this center. We couldn't do it without any of them. In terms of scope and in terms of impact, this is one of the biggest things we've ever done, short of opening this building on its own. Rethinking this exhibit with modern scholarship, with modern design, and all of the things that we're putting into it. Utilizing survivor voices is the main ingredient for what we're doing here. It's the one thing we have that no one else has, and that's our community of people. We have the opportunity here to use those stories to tell the full scope of the Holocaust.
There is something about watching a person speak about something they went through has an impact like nothing else can.
My father was in Auschwitz from age 17 to 21. Even in the camps, he was known to cheer people up. He was a singer, he would make up songs. He held people together. He considered himself very lucky that he survived with 2 brothers and a sister who were all in Auschwitz. He found out later that his parents, my grandparents, and his younger sister and little brother, and his brother who was right above him, he was closest to that brother, were rounded up and shot. My son Daniel is named for that brother.
This is my grandson Daniel Yisrael Aye, who is named after my brother who never came back.
My grandfather, Emmanuel Middleman, in Yiddish people called him Meilach. He was a really, really big part of my life. He had this energy that he brought to life, just touched people in their soul.
Those that survived went through unbelievable hell to be able to bounce back and not lose their dignity. It's to me as resilient as one can be.
My Nana was I remember her shaking. She was telling me she saw the gates. There were dogs barking, people yelling and shouting, being separated instantly. She was pulled to the left with one of her sisters. Her mother and another sister were pulled to the right. She never saw her mother again or her sister. She did make it through the camp with one of her sisters. To know that she actually went on and her and my grandfather had such a happy marriage and a happy home, just unbelievable. The resilience and the strength.
The Holocaust is not too far away from me, but I made a great life in this country. I have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So I look to the future.
Remembering and retelling is a part of Jewish DNA. We share things lador vador from generation to generation. These are real experiences that have shaped the Jewish people.
We are still and always will be a memorial to the victims of the Holocaust. We always want to remember them. We will always have a flame lit for those people who have no one to light a candle in their memory. It's a very, very important part of who we are, and we're very proud of that.
My father, as he got older, used to say that he really, really was afraid that people would just forget, that people would forget, it would become old. And I think that this center is going to keep that from happening.
There's no question that when it comes to Holocaust education and a Holocaust museum, here it is, Farmington Hills, Michigan.